Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am up today with another layout in our Sketch Sunday series. Now, I am using the sketch up in the top left corner there. I think it's from Bella Boulevard. I think it's a page map sketch, but I think it was used for a Bella Boulevard challenge maybe. Anyway, I will link it down below so you can see the sketch. I am adapting this sketch to a 9x12 format, as you can see in front of me, on the screen. And I have already punched out all of these hexagons in the Pebbles collection. There's actually two separate Pebbles collections here in the paper, and I just punched out a whole heap of hexagons from my scraps, and I'm just placing them randomly on the page. I don't follow the sketch. I definitely took inspiration from the sketch for this layout, and I was looking for something that specifically kind of spoke of kind of quilts vibe to me when I was looking for a sketch. That was because I also wanted to use this as a challenge in the Secret Not Secret Kit Club's June party, which was a massive party, and I made 32 layouts in 1 week. Believe it or not, I did not film them all. In fact, I only filmed 3 of them. Or 4 of them, sorry. But yeah, I could not film them all. I just had fun, scrappy time. But I wanted to find a sketch that reminded me of a quilt, because that was the challenge. And I also really wanted to use my hexagon punch. I hadn't used it for a while. I got quilt vibes from it, but I knew I didn't want to cover my page completely with the hexagon shapes. So when I was looking at a sketch, this one popped out at me, and I thought, you know what, that will work really well in 9x12. I had a 4x6 horizontal photo that I wanted to use, and I just thought it would be perfect. So I didn't make you watch me stick down all of the hexagons, but I am leaving this part in, as I'm kind of wanted to show you that I've pieced together with the scraps that sort of overhung in the first round of sticking down the hexagons. I pieced together some of the little bits that need to go in around the outside to fill in some of those gaps. So I just kind of wanted to leave that part in so that you could see how my brain is working and how I'm kind of piecing all those little bits together so that there's no gaps. You don't have to do this though. It would have looked perfectly fine without it. And there would have been absolutely no harm, no issue with not filling in the little gaps like I did. But because the scraps were there, I just thought, why not? Let's do it. So you can see me there. I was trying not to put any patterns that were the same too close to each other, and I did that successfully. They're near each other, of course, because there's only, 8 different patterns or something. But I didn't have any right beside each other, and I didn't want them too close. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Just, there is a method to my madness. As I said, I will try and link the sketch down below so you can see where I got this inspiration from. There are heaps of sketches on Pinterest, which is usually where I go to. And if all else fails, I go to page maps because there's hundreds and hundreds of sketches there. And they have new challenges every month, which I didn't really know. I knew the page maps did sketches, but I didn't quite realise that they were challenges as well. So I thought that was super cool. So I am backing this piece of white, well, just short of 9x12 cardstock. And I have chosen this green and gold piece of pattern paper from one of the Pebbles Christmas collections to use as my background or border piece of pattern paper. I think it works really well with the patterns that I chose for my hexagon shapes, and I'm just really happy with how it all looks together. There's a lot of gold in this background paper, but by just using it as a little border, the border is still wide enough that you get the gold kind of coming through and you can see that the accent is there, but it's not too overpowering, in my opinion anyway. Obviously the light from my overhead lights is shining on it, which is really bringing the gold into focus, but I think it works well. Now I'm just figuring out how I want to mount my photo on my pattern paper. So I'm using this scrap of darker green here. I was going to use that red you saw me bring into screen before, but it was a bit too much with the tones in my photo, but also with the patterns in the hexagons. I needed something that was a little bit inoffensive and could just see that I've got a border around my photo but doesn't take away from the photo and the layout. So I also grabbed this wood grain as well. and use that to add one more layer. Now I have to piece this together, you'll see here. I didn't have enough to do a full layer on my photo, but it's really easy to piece this kind of stuff together when you have a really tiny piece peeking out for a border, because you can't even tell that it's pieced together. So that's also a hot tip for you. If you really want to use a piece of pattern paper for your border and you don't have enough to do one full sheet, one full piece all the way around, just piece the background pieces together. Depending on the pattern, you can barely tell when you've only got, a couple of millimeters peeking out on each side of your photo just as a frame. So yeah, super easy to layer it up. And then I just had to add a final little piece in to the corner. Done. Now I'm just trimming that off. So that's it for my photo. I've layered up. Now this is a photo, obviously you can see me clear as day in that photo. I've got a towel up to me. You can see our pool in the background. This was still when our pool was pretty new. This might have been our first summer with our pool actually. And you can't really tell, but my partner has just dived into the pool from the deep end. And I'm sitting there with a towel making a cold face. It was obviously a little chilly that day and I didn't want to get in. And I probably didn't get in because I'm a bit of a wuss when it comes to the swimming pool, and I like our solar heating to have made it nice and toasty warm before I decided to get in. I was actually looking for a Christmas, existing pack of Christmas phrase stickers, and I wanted one that said "brr, it's cold" or something like that, because I thought, I can use that on a layout finally. But it turns out I've already used all of those kind of sayings on winter themed layouts that aren't Christmas. So I was spewing, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I pulled out these red and pink and white sort of striped thickers. I'm trying to use these quite a lot. You will have seen them come up on most of my layouts that I've done for Christmas in July, because I am actually trying to use them. They're not my favorite. They are a little bit tricky to use, but I'm just kind of going with it because they're very Christmassy and I figure it works. So I'm just calling my layout very simply pool time, nothing fancy or special when it comes to that. But I just thought it works. I had the letters for it. Let's go. So I haven't stuck them down properly yet because I will put them, I will line them up, I should say, so that they're a little more straight, or as straight as I can get them without a ruler. I want to place my photo down first, I'm pretty sure, before I decide to stick down my thickers and commit to where my embellishments are going. So you can see me here looking through the Pebbles collection of embellishments. Now, funnily enough, this collection has what I assume is supposed to be a snow cone. So it's a snowman in a cone. And then this bowl of snowmen with like ice cream toppings on them. And I am just taking that to be very summer themed, and we're just going with it. I don't know if that was Pebbles' intent, but I'm doing it. I've put them on a summer layout. So I've got the little bowl of snowmen with their ice cream toppings, and I've got the little snow cone there, and I'm just creating some embellishment clusters using those. I'm also creating an embellishment cluster at the bottom left of the layout, which will be under the kind of end of the E in time. And I've just got a little gingerbread man and a little present. And I'm pretty sure that is literally it in that cluster. I don't put a hell of a lot into these clusters. Because the pattern papers are so busy, I didn't really think it needed much. So I've got a little present in that cluster on the left as well with the snow cone. And then I'm thinking about trying to get this holly piece on, and I do end up putting it there beside my photo on the left. And now I'm going to stick everything down. So I thought I might have edited this part out for you, but obviously I have not. So this will be a slightly longer video than sometimes I do because I haven't edited out this process. But I have had a few people tell me that they quite like to see me, do this, stick things down, work through my process, because sometimes I do move things slightly. Usually I don't, but sometimes I will move things and sort of get the placement right. I pop some things up on foam, leave things flat. And I think people sometimes like to see that process. And I don't have very many embellishments, so it's not something that's going to take a particularly long time. So I have popped up the little snowman in the bowl on some foam and tucked the little gingerbread lady in behind. And I'm sort of doing the same on the left-hand side, popping up the snow cone, the snowman in a cone onto the photo, and then sticking the present down flat and tucking him in under there. And then I am popping up the holly on some foam and sort of tucking that in as well under the snow cone, and I will trim off the excess. Now I'm committing to sticking down my title, and I am adding some glue because these are notoriously, they come unstuck easily. And I need to go back through my older albums actually and stick down a few of my chipboard stickers that have come unstuck. I will need to do that at some point. But yeah, so I am trying to eliminate the need to have to do that at a later point in time by just adding glue now and kind of making them a little neater. I don't measure, you know me, I don't measure, but I am sticking them down, straight-ish. Definitely straight-ish. And then I'm going to add my last little cluster, and I think I just add Nuvo drops and then we're done. So I am sticking the present down flat and popping up the gingerbread man. And then I'm going to come in with some Nuvo drops. I don't even add splatters, guys. Like, who am I? I think because, again, this layout was quite busy with all the patterns that I just forego the splatters. And I do stick with my 3 colours of Nuvo drops, the green, the red and the light blue. And then all finished. So make sure I will link the sketch that I used in the description box down below, so go and check that out if you like, but I just like to acknowledge where our sketches come from. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying our July series. We're super excited for the coming few months. We've got some fun things going on, but yeah, we're thankful that you guys are joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Bye guys.